right there. God, Gabe, get out of the shot.
I'm just showing him my cake.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the R&R podcast. This is the second month in a row that we're trying this, but just so that everybody's aware, we are attempting to reduce the amount of episodes needed to record for the R&R podcast. We're going to start releasing once a month for R&R. Not because we don't enjoy doing this, but because doing a lot of episodes, content got a little dry for us.
Well, the way that we record things is we gather once a month and we film everything in advance.
And so instead of trying to film every R&R podcast for the month, we figured just
Which
one a month would help.
Which whenever you only have like a day and a half to do everything,
Mm-hmm.
The limitations.
Yes.
So it was something that I had been thinking about, and so I brought it to him, and he was like, I said, I think it'd be feasible we could do once a month. That way it's less stress on everybody because we already like Randy always has a piece of paper and he has everything written down that what we need, and it's always like okay, Kingdom Hearts, Pokemon, and there's like now we need 5 podcast episodes. Go, and they like, if each one takes an hour, that's 5 hours, and then like boom,
day's gone.
it's half a day.
Yep.
So it's actually a whole day because most of the time, in the past, I've been showing up at lunch, right? But like this time, you guys had to come to me, and y'all didn't get here till 5 o'clock, and so that's midnight.
Yep. So so this episode, this fine October,
during Spoopy month.
Spoopy month. What are we doing?
We are doing something that most people may roast us alive for. We're taking 2 of the most beloved horror movies of all time, and we're recasting them. Doing them under the pretext, and I was explaining to Randy, the pretext is that it's the same movie, same script, right?
We're not changing the script.
Not changing the script, not changing the story. We're just recasting it for 2023.
For 2023.
Yeah, that's the only difference. It's like, obviously, if it's in 2023, like both of these movies are old. Like one of them is 1978, and the other, when did Nightmare come out?
Nightmare came out in like 1980 something.
Yeah, so because Michael Myers was like the first that he started the, but obviously like it's the same movie, but it would just with 2023 quality and 2023 actors. So we're doing Nightmare on Elm Street, which I know will get us, which will get us burned at the stake, and we're doing Halloween, which we may
our ashes scattered across the world.
We may disappear.
So that we may never be seen.
We may disappear. Now, I want to clarify something. I love Halloween. I love the Halloween series. Now,
we love horror movies in general.
Well, I love some horror movies. I draw the line at certain things, which you've learned when talking about Terrifier.
Yes.
I don't consider that horror. I consider that torture porn.
Okay.
It's a lot like Saw.
Okay. That's not the topic for today.
That's not the topic for today.
I'm not going to start a debate on that.
You can call me a snob or like a horror. Like I call myself a snob because I pick and choose which kind of horror that I like.
So I think the way I want to do this is you'll start with Nightmare. You'll start your Nightmare.
Yeah.
I'll tell my Nightmare.
Yeah.
And then I'll go into my Halloween.
Okay.
And you'll go into your.
That's
Halloween.
fine.
We'll end it off with yours.
So just to be completely transparent, I watched Halloween first, and then I watched it when I was like 13 for the first time.
Right.
I didn't watch Nightmare until I was like a few years later, and I watched it one time. I've watched the first one and only the first one.
Okay.
I'm 28 years old.
You need to watch 3. As much as we joke about Dream Warriors, you need to watch Dream Warriors.
So
it's a good one.
I heard the song on one of my friends burned a CD of like all of his favorite heavy metal songs, and Dream Warriors was one of them.
I remember because I was playing a playlist that had Dream Warriors in it. And you told me that, and then immediately the next song afterwards was Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Dude, they're making a video game about that.
They're making a video game. It's a PvP video game. It's kind of like the Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw, that stuff. I'm very excited about that.
So I'm 28 years old. I maybe watched it when I was 15, so it's been 13 years.
Yeah.
Or longer. Yeah, 13 years since I've watched this movie. So
Friday the 13th years. No.
All right. So am I doing my entire cast, or are we
You-
going person for person?
We can do person for person. if
Let's
you'd
do
like.
that. Let's do that. Okay.
Who's your Nancy?
So I am. Who's my Nancy? Okay.
Who's your
So
Nancy?
I am going to lovingly call my Nightmare on Elm Street cast the official Stranger Things cast reunion. And so my Nancy is Maya Hawke,
Okay.
who, as you know, plays Robin
Mhm.
in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think she'd be terrific in the role.
Okay. My Nancy
Yeah.
is Anna Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy, you mean?
Anna, maybe.
I think it's Anya.
There's no Y in her name.
Oh, is it? I thought it was Anya.
No, it's A-N-A.
Gabe, Google it.
Taylor-Joy.
It's Anna.
A-N-A-T-A-Y-L-O-R-J-O-Y.
I thought it was Anya.
It's Anna Taylor-Joy.
Am I retarded?
Yes.
A&A what?
Taylor-Joy.
I just realized I turned on my oven because I was going to heat up.
You watched the menu, right?
I have not. I heard it was good.
I referred it to you.
You did. Well, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Okay,
she
so-
was in that movie.
so-
she did really well.
So why did you? So is that why you picked her? Because of the menu?
I picked her. How her name's spelled.
Okay, her full name is Anya.
Okay. So then the website that I pulled it from had it wrong.
There's a Josephine. Yeah.
Oh.
Anya Josephine Marie Taylor.
So I knew I wasn't losing my mind. Okay.
Okay.
So you picked her because
Anya
of the menu.
Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
I picked her because of Last Night in Soho. She was the lead character for Last Night in Soho, and it was this whole thing where she was having these dreams and stuff, which is very on topic for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Okay. But Nancy's character, kind of midway through, stopped putting up with everybody's bullcrap
Yeah.
in that movie.
And
And I feel like she is such a strong character, a strong person to be able to do that.
That's
And
why.
I know that's why you chose Maya,
Yes.
but I saved Maya for somebody else.
Oh, I think I know who you. I think I know where you
And I
put
think
mine.
you understand
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Because
Well.
she's got such a good casting for either of those roles.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll go in order of relationship.
What the?
So we'll say what?
I picked an actress and I can't remember who I picked for this certain thing. Oh, I remember who that is now. Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll go for Glenn next.
Glenn?
Get your Glenn. Who is your Glenn? The boyfriend of Nancy Thompson. Who?
Noah Schnapp, who plays Will in Stranger Things.
I picked Timothy Chalamet.
Oh my God! Get
I
out of
didn't-
here.
I didn't pick him because of this whole like have him in everything
freaking
deal.
love fingerling potatoes.
Timothy Chalamet. That Glenn's role was originally played by Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
First ever movie.
Yeah.
And because his death is so iconic,
Was that his first movie?
that was his first movie
Oh, What's Eating Gilbert Grape was his first movie.
after Nightmare. That death scene is so iconic. The volcano of blood erupting out of the bed.
Yeah.
I wanted to give that death to someone who is both loved and hated by film
I
watchers.
hate him.
I know you hate him. I'm not partial to like I don't care if he's in the movie or not.
Yeah.
I think he's a decent actor.
Well, yeah. See, I picked somebody who I think is a phenomenal actor, and I think could really pull off some of like the broodiness of Johnny Depp. Because whenever Johnny Depp,
Yeah, I wouldn't have said Noah Schnapp for that.
well, that's what I would pick.
Okay.
Because yeah, he has like the baby face. He's got like whatever. Like when you look at him, you don't think dark and brooding. I think that he's such a great actor. I think he's a good enough actor. He can make somebody believe. You know what I mean? Like he can even they can almost play it off as this guy who's not dark and broody is acting. It's almost like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
It's like this prim cut proper man is very clearly a prim cut proper man, but he's acting dark and brooding.
Face and atmosphere is why I chose Timothy Chalamet.
I chose just based off ability.
I chose purely because I knew the character was going to die.
Mhm.
I knew I didn't need him to be very much of a great actor.
Mhm.
So I chose a decent actor that had the atmosphere and face of what I was looking for.
Mhm.
And I knew would be able to deal with a lot of the blood and stuff.
See, what I'm
in that
noticing, is that I'm already noticing how we're picking our actors.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go next with Mom and Dad.
Nancy's mom and dad,
Yep. So we're going to start with Dad.
Donald.
Yeah. You Chief Hopper.
Ethan Hawke.
That's smart.
Maya Hawke's actual father.
That's smart. That's smart. See, I considered him for Loomis. I considered him for
Oh,
Loomis.
you're gonna like who I picked for Loomis.
Okay.
So Ethan, I know that Ethan hasn't like he was in a lot of things like in the 80s and 90s, and he was a couple of things.
Mhm.
So he kind of like went away. Here recently, there's been a resurgence, especially with him with Moon Knight, with him being in Moon Knight.
Black Phone was also really good with him.
I haven't seen it, but I want to.
Dude.
It's on my to-do list or to watch list.
I picked what I believe to be a power couple with Nancy's mom and dad.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Good God.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen in A Nightmare on Elm Street recast.
as Donald Thompson.
I'll be honest with you, he was in my like top 5 for Loomis.
He would have been a good Loomis.
He would have been a great.
He would have been a great Loomis. Who'd you get for Marge?
Uma Thurman. Maya Hawke's
That's-
life actual mother.
That's smart. You want
I
to know
got
who I
her
got?
actual parents.
You want to know who I got?
Who?
Helena Bonham Carter.
Helena Bottom Farter.
Carter.
You got
Mads
Helena Bottom
Mikkelsen.
Carter.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen and
So you
Helena
have the man who
Carter.
built the Death Star and Bellatrix Lestrange in the same movie.
Okay. So
Phenomenal pick there, my man.
Thank
I
you.
love that pick
Thank
so
you.
much.
Rod. Who'd you get for Rod?
Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Cameron Monaghan.
Oh, that's such a good one. Oh crap!
You want to know who I picked
I
for
was
his
re-
girlfriend Tina?
I was really proud. I was really proud of my Rod pick. I saw him in a movie on Netflix, and I was like, "Who is this cat?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Patrick Schwarzenegger." I was like, "Okay."
You want to know who I picked for his
Yeah,
girlfriend
he's
Tina?
related to him. I'm pretty sure that's his son. What? For Tina?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you who I picked for Tina.
Okay.
We're keeping up the
Yeah,
pattern.
keeping up the pattern.
Florence Pugh.
I almost did her, but Tina Ivlev,
Who?
Marin from Jedi Fallen Order.
So you put Cal Kestis and Marin in the same game. So I took 3 people who were actual daughter, mother, father, put them in the same game. You said video game, fake couple, put them in a video game.
I think they might be together in real life though.
Will they? Are they?
I think they might be. They do a lot of
Okay, I'll be
press
honest with
shoots
you.
together.
I see so many clips of Cameron Monaghan in Shameless and everything, and I see him in Shameless. I think he's like, I don't know. I never.
But I think that was a phenomenal. Like
That's a great pick.
which,
What's wrong?
I'm trying to. Oh, we have one more. We have one more.
The most
yeah.
important, the
Yeah.
most important member of the
Dude,
squad.
you're gonna bite yourself when you. Who'd you pick for Freddy Krueger?
So, I was caught between 2 people.
See, here's the thing. I already knew going into this, we're trying to replace Robert England is a task.
It's a
and
task,
half.
okay? So
who did you pick?
Robert England was so over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I went with somebody who is not over the top,
Mm-hmm.
but has proven in a very recent role.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Mhm.
That he doesn't have to be over the top. He can be physically imposing. He can do all of the sinisterness. And I'll be honest with you, I watched the first one, and then I watched some of the later ones, like some of the later Freddy movies, and I was just like, it didn't feel the same to me.
Correct.
So I wasn't a huge fan of like the goofy, silly
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Campbell Bower, who, as you know, plays Vecna
Okay.
in Stranger Things.
That's an interesting take because you went the serious route.
Yes.
I didn't necessarily go the serious route. I found someone
Did you
who
pick Carrot
was
Top?
no. I found someone who would be able to look the part
Mm-hmm.
and act the part of my version of Freddy, which is from the first 3 movies, where he starts to get like that catchphrase where like every tagline he says ends with wench.
Yeah.
But it's not like goofy, silly Freddy from like 6
Yeah.
and 7.
I wasn't a huge
whatever.
fan of Goofy Silly Freddy. Now-
David Thewlis,
Who? David Thewlis?
Professor Lupin from Harry Potter.
My only issue is that he's already old. He's already super old.
So was Robert Englund.
Not when they started filming back in the 80s. He was maybe mid to late 30s. That actor,
but he kept that.
Yeah, but again, I mean, but okay.
This is for 2023. Okay, we're not expecting sequels.
I know, but still,
right.
my only issue with that is that he's old.
That's why I chose him, because he's got experience on him. I chose him because he can do it.
It's funny, he plays Professor Lupin, but he also plays Ares and Wonder Woman with that very terrible CGI.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like at first I was like, oh, this is Ares, the God of War. This is actually a really cool take. And then all of a sudden, boom, PS2 villain. Like, anyway, it takes an otherwise really good movie and you just go, ugh. Okay, I like that pick based off the skill of the actor. My only gripe is that he's old. Now I could be wrong, and I could be overestimating his age.
Let me look that up real quick. Actually, we've got somebody for that. Gabe,
he's our stat guy.
David.
The last movie he was in Harry Potter was what, like 6 or 7 years ago?
No, longer than that. Prisoner of Azkaban came out in 2008.
I remember the Lupin name. What's his actual actor name?
David Thewlis.
I've never. You know, the funny thing is, I always just call him the Lupin actor. I can never remember his real name. That's actually, I'll be honest with you.
I looked up middle-aged actors, and I was scrolling through the list, and I saw his name, and I saw what he did, and I was like,
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
He's got the facial structure.
Yeah.
He's like,
he's what?
He's not looking that bad at 60 years.
Okay, it flipped. You turned it and it flipped and it made it smaller. We can't see from there.
He's not looking bad at 60.
You know what, Randy? I'll retract. I'll retract. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
Now I'm still a fan of my pick because if we're doing...
I think the only pick that I'm not proud of out of this list is Timothée Chalamet, and that's mostly because I picked him for his look and knowing that he was gonna die.
Yeah.
I picked him out of, like, Rod gets more screen time and development than Glenn does.
Yeah.
So I knew for Rod, I wanted to make a connection with the audience, and I think Cameron Monaghan can do that.
Yeah.
And especially his chemistry on set and in booth with Tina.
It's funny you say that Timothée Chalamet is the one. The Noah Schnapp pick was the person I cast last, and it's the one that I was most iffy about. Because I was caught between like 2 or 3 people, and I was like, I don't want to just make this Stranger Thing actors, you know. But I mean, like, they're all such great actors, you know. So it's like, you know what, I threw him in there. Okay. I see where you're coming from with Timothy. For me, I picked Noah just because I think he's just a terrific young actor.
I think he's a terrific young actor too.
And I mean, so.
But I also kept my actors in theme with age of the actors they would be co-starring with. So I chose Timothée Chalamet because he is around the age of Anya Taylor-Joy.
So the other person I had in line for Glenn was I wish I would have kept it because I had him like marked by slashes. It was, I can't remember the actor's name. He's gonna be Jaime Reyes in the Blue Beetle movie.
Okay.
That was my that was one.
He would have been neat.
That's
that movie's out now.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out.
When did it come out?
Hit theaters like day before yesterday.
Okay, so I know he's in that, and then Cobra Kai obviously is where I know him from. That actor, I had him down because I think that would have been nice. I think that kid's a terrific actor.
That would have been nice.
You want somebody like he's shown on Cobra Kai. He can go from being like this loving, caring person to like I will literally rip your throat out, like, you know, from scene to scene. So I was considering that, and I don't know. I guess I just went with Noah. I think it was partially for the meme, so I could call my Nightmare on Elm Street the Stranger Things cast reunion.
I much prefer my own casting, and that's just me. I think I did really well with it.
I like your Cameron Monaghan.
Thank you.
That's a great one. I think I prefer your Rod to mine, even though I like mine. Like he's like I can't remember what the name of the movie that it was. I saw it was on Netflix. I just can't remember the name of the movie. So I think I saw it like a year ago.
Halloween.
Huh?
Cameron Monaghan.
Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Be very careful how you say that. You looking it up? Because I guarantee he says the name of the movie. I'm gonna know what I'm not.
Well, you have that.
Well, you
Grabbed by the ghoulies.
grabbed by the ghoulies.
Oh man.
Gabe's looking it up.
Oh.
Huh? Fairly recent, yeah.
Stowaway. All the echo booms. Dirty Dance. That's no. Aquaman. Gen 5.
It doesn't matter. Well,
Whatever.
that might be it. I'm not sure.
It was miniseries in 2022.
That might be it. Was it a Netflix series?
Who's up?
Yeah, that might be it.
Halloween.
Halloween.
A franchise near and dear to our hearts.
Oh, I've seen I've seen this entire series like 2 or 3 times over.
Laurie Strode.
We're starting with Laurie.
I figured. I mean, we can start with less important
No.
characters.
Okay, let's start with Laurie, but we end with the Shape.
Okay.
Because I'm calling him the Shape in mine because that's how he was referred to.
Okay.
Okay. Freya Allen.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
That is the girl who plays Ciri in The Witcher.
Maya Hawke. Because I felt like she would fit Rory's character better than she would Nancy.
I picked Freya Allen because I've been seeing a lot of her in The Witcher,
Okay.
and she kicks butt in that show.
Okay.
And she's very good at she's very good at playing like clueless and like learning. And she then like as I know that starting out, Laurie's very like, huh, what's going on? And then she goes into pure panic survival, and then she starts pushing back. I think Freya could cover all 3 stages of Laurie.
So Laurie goes and babysits Tommy. So let's go ahead and go to Tommy.
Tommy Walker Scobell.
Jacob Tremblay.
Okay. Walker Scobell is the kid from the Adam Project, who's going to be playing Percy Jackson in the Percy Jackson series.
Jacob Tremblay.
Yeah.
If you don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
I watched a movie. It was a rated R movie with him and a couple other kid actors called Good Boys, I believe.
Never heard of it.
And it was I don't know if Seth Rogen was involved in it in some way or it was some sort of something.
Yeah.
But he's like the youngest of this group. See if you can pull me a picture real quick of Jacob Tremblay.
Jacob Tremblay.
That's it.
Keith L. Williams.
Go to Jacob. Go to Jacob. Pull a picture. Pull a picture, of Jacob. So I can show him.
Well, I don't know if he can do. He's kind of like got everything. Be very careful. You're moving the camera.
It's fine. We'll get it fixed. You saw him?
Yeah.
Okay. That is
yeah.
my Tommy.
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen the Adam Project.
I have not. It's on my list of stuff.
So basically, this kid plays a. How does it look? This kid plays essentially a young Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
And so.
Are you talking about that time traveling one?
Yeah.
Where so basically Ryan Reynolds comes from the future
and meets his past self. And
That's awesome.
And the kid spends the kid like he nails down pat a young Ryan Reynolds, like cracking jokes, just snarky. And I think it'd be funny to see him because he's also playing Percy Jackson in the new part, which Percy Jackson is a
big thing for you as well.
Is a big thing for me. And so like I would I just figured I'd take that actor, and I think it'd be funny to see this kid like just snark at Michael. I think it'd just be funny. Now I know Tommy gets like a few whatever lines, few moments.
Mm-hmm.
This kid would take those small moments and turn them into big ones.
Who did you have
I've
for?
never seen Ryan Reynolds actually like laid into by anybody but a child.
Exactly.
Who did you pick for Sheriff Lake?
Oh, Josh Duhamel.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Ooh, that's a good one. I almost put him for a different role. So Josh Duhamel, as you know, he was in Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in like the first one, I think.
He was in like the first 3.
Yeah. But Josh Duhamel, he also does the voice of Two-Face in the Long Halloween animated special that they just put out. The husband of Fergie Ferg. Did you know that? He's married to Fergie.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, for those who are watching at home.
Obviously.
Negan from The Walking Dead.
Dun,
Dean and
dun,
Sam's
dun.
dad from Supernatural.
Little pigs, let me in.
I think he would make a wonderful sheriff character.
I think that's a great pick. That's a
I
great
love
pick.
that.
That's a
Don't
great
get me
pick.
wrong. I love Josh.
I love Josh
Because
Duhamel.
he was in Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah,
as
he
your
was.
CEO. And I love that.
He has done. Look, when I was looking at his IMDb, he has done so much, and nobody even realizes how much he's been in.
Yep.
Like obviously, like I remember him from Transformers as like just the one guy, the guy who like he slides up underneath Shockwave. Goo 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 goo.
Under the Blackout, actually.
Blackout.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So Dr. Loomis enters the room to discuss with Michael. Who do you have for Dr. Loomis?
Matthew Lillard.
Interesting. That's an interesting choice.
Matthew freaking Lillard.
Anthony Hopkins.
Wow, you went old.
Well, I mean, he's older in the first movie.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard's pretty old, but Anthony Hopkins is old.
But Anthony Hopkins can also act. Like, I'm not saying Matthew Lillard can't.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
when I thought of Loomis, I thought of how crazy Loomis gets toward the end.
I guess this is my novelty cast, but it's not strictly based off of. Huh? So for me, like I wanted to pick somebody who obviously is older, and Matthew has aged gracefully, I might say. He's aged very well.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's one of those things where I haven't seen him in anything recently, but all the things, like obviously he's in the first Scream movie, and so I think that it'd be interesting to see a older, more graceful Matthew Lillard play Loomis in the beginning, and then slowly turn into a version of his character from the first Scream movie, where he starts to get desperate. And the acting ability is still there, and obviously I know Anthony. I'm not comparing Anthony Hopkins to Matthew Lillard,
right?
But I have more faith in somebody who's not 85.
I just know that I enjoyed Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal. I enjoyed him as Hannibal Lecter. So I wanted to be able to kind of give him a chance to play the opposite end of that spectrum, where he's the doctor that ends up going a little desperate. He has that range. I know he does. And so I just wanted to see Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Loomis.
So with the David Thewlis, I recanted because, he's not as old as I thought he was, and he looks pretty good. That's the one where I'll be like, it's like.
So as Dr. Loomis begins to speak with Michael, we are treated to a flashback where we are shown Michael's mother and father.
Yes.
Who did you have for mom?
Winona Ryder.
I did too.
Hey!
Winona Ryder.
Who
did you have for dad?
Cary Elwes.
Dennis Quaid.
That's a good one too. I picked Cary Elwes. As you know, Princess Bride.
Right.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I picked Dennis Quaid because I liked him as a father figure in Day After Tomorrow. I know we aren't going to see that much of Michael's dad.
Yeah.
But Dennis Quaid, man. Love me some good Dennis Quaid.
Love Dennis Quaid.
I love that we picked Winona Ryder for the mom. That's awesome.
Well, I picked Winona Ryder because I think that in the original one, Michael's dad is the one who takes the mask off of him and is kind of like, "What did you do? What did you do?" In this one, I think we flip it. We give Winona the crazy eyes, like, "Woo!" We have Winona just, like we have her do like, we have her take off the mask, and
your son's in a different movie,
and the dad can be a little bit more dramatic, and Cary Elwes, Dennis Quaid has been in a few more high profile things, but I like Cary Elwes, and I've seen him in some of again, he was in Stranger Things. I'll even admit that. And very surprisingly, I was like, and I always forget this guy. Like, Carly and I can't figure out if this guy's British or not. Because we see him in one thing, he has a British accent. We see him in another thing, and he doesn't. Like, this guy has such a wide range. And I don't think people realize it, so I think it'd be interesting. And like you said, it's a very limited role, but it's almost like the me picking Walker Scobell for Tommy. I think he'd take a limited role, and he'd make the most out of it.
So you have a bit more roles than I do left.
What do you mean? Oh,
The
yeah,
sisters.
because I casted Michael's sister, and I did cast Kid Michael.
Okay.
And you
I
don't
probably
have those, do you?
I probably should have cast Kid Michael, but I didn't.
I did. I casted Kid Michael. So I'll go ahead and tell you, for Michael's sister, Natalie Dyer,
Okay.
who plays Nancy in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I just want to see her get stabbed.
Okay. That's awesome. That's
Good.
great that you
I
just
think-
want to watch that person get
I think
stabbed.
no. I think that look. I think that I think she would have a good. I think she'd have a good scream. Does that sound? I don't know. I'm sorry. I picked her.
Look at this dude.
Move on. All right, Kid
Look at this
Michael.
dude.
Roman Griffin Davis for Kid Michael.
Okay.
You know who that is? You ever seen Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah. I'm gonna
You know
I'm
what I'm
gonna-
talking about?
I'm gonna follow up with that because I should have gotten a Kid Michael. I'm gonna borrow that. I'm gonna borrow that casting.
I saw Jojo Rabbit, and I was like, "Who is this kid?" And I was like,
Who did you have for Michael Myers?
"So let's discuss this a little bit. Let's
Okay.
discuss this more than we discussed Freddy." So you looked up Michael Myers' canonical height.
Yes, which is 5'10".
I call BS on that because I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. So
I mean, Ethan Hunt's canonical height is taller than Tom Cruise, but they make it work.
anyways, I don't see how you. That I just got like whiplash. You just went from anyway. So you picked an actor who was closer to his canonical height.
Correct.
So I want to hear you pick because I want to hear you pick first.
Because we've talked about this.
Because
You want
Jeffrey Dean
someone.
Morgan is huge.
You want someone who has the imposing.
Yep.
He has the bulk.
Yep.
Zachary Montgomery.
Okay. Okay.
Billy.
All right.
Billy from Stranger
he's-
Things. For
he-
those at home.
He was also the Red Power Ranger in the new Power
He
Rangers
was.
movie. Yeah.
And I enjoyed that movie.
I enjoyed him in that movie. I didn't enjoy the whole movie. I enjoyed him in that movie.
Him as Michael Myers.
Interesting. You know what I almost
He is 5'10".
you know what I almost did? I almost picked the kid who played in the new Halloween movie.
Mm-hmm.
I almost picked
Homeboy.
Homeboy.
Oh,
What's his
dude.
name? I almost picked him
Oh.
just for the kicks and giggles because I know people are split on that movie.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed parts of it. I wish they would have had about 30 to 45 extra minutes to explain what the hell was even happening in that movie. You know what I mean? Because like even Carly, who hasn't watched a single Michael Myers movie, was watching that movie with me. She was like, "Wait, did he just possess him?" Like, she was like, "Whatever." I almost picked him, but I didn't because gonna be honest with you, I want camera angles. I want like that shot, I want that shot where like somebody's like holding a knife and they're bleeding and they're backing up and then they back up into a doorway and Michael's taller than the doorway. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wanted something like that. Alexander Skarsgård.
Ooh, okay.
He
That's
is
good.
he is 6'4",
That's good.
and if you've seen him in The Northman,
I did.
he's yoked.
He is yoked. Like I said, I tried to go more toward the canonical height.
I understand that.
Even though that was, it probably wasn't a smart move. That's good. I like that.
You see, God, I hate that I didn't even think about Dacre Montgomery for anything. I could have put him as he could have been Glenn.
He could have been Rod.
Oh, he could have been Rod. He could have been Rod.
He could have been a good
Yeah.
Rod.
So, wow. I didn't even think about Dacre Montgomery. That's a good one.
I thought about him initially as whenever I saw the thing, and that's why I was asking for looking at Michael's mom and dad.
Yeah.
Because I almost put the Wheeler parents as Michael's parents.
Oh, that'd be funny. And then put Dacre Montgomery as
Dacre
Michael.
Montgomery as Michael.
Yeah. What
Mommy
are you looking
issues.
at?
Anyway.
I was looking at his. I wanted to check and see how tall he actually was. He is 6'4.5".
Who is Alexander Skarsgård?
Yeah.
He's big. That's it. Yeah.
Massive boy.
Look,
Massive boy.
he's huge.
That man could pick you up and put you into basketball.
So there were three actors that I was considering for the shape: Alexander Skarsgård, Stephen Amell, actually, because he's not super tall, but he's pretty
Built.
he's built, and then Alexander Ludwig,
Ooh. Okay.
who's currently in a series on Stars with Stephen Amell.
Mhm.
And so like he's always been a tall kid. I mean, in Race to Witch Mountain, he was even tall like back then. So
We threw around the idea of giving Michael a voice,
yeah,
something that was terrifying, something that would fit the shape.
I
threw out a name, and you agreed that it would be good for the voice, but not for the person, like the person playing Michael. Tony Todd, i.e. the
Candyman. So
his voice would be phenomenal for Michael. He's playing Venom in the new Spider-Man game.
Oh, the new Spider-Man game.
Yeah,
okay,
he's
I was about
playing
to say,
Venom.
So here's my thing. Is that Michael? So I don't think Michael. I'm trying to think. Does Michael ever speak in any of the movies?
He doesn't. He's never spoken.
Does it? He's not even because he's not in the curse. He's never spoken at all. So my only thing is that if he's gonna do it, like he needs to almost sound damaged. So like the whole idea of Michael speaking is like because he never does, like I would love it as someone who loves like dramatic things. I would love it, but as someone who loves the Halloween franchise, I feel like it would go against everything.
Which is why we didn't include that in our official fan casting.
But so for me, when I think of what he could sound like, so back in the '90s, there was a wrestler named Kane that got introduced. Now Kane's whole gimmick was that he was burned, and that his vocal cords were burned, and he had to use one of those like things that put in so he could speak. So my idea was that Michael. I like the idea that one of the things I liked in the Rob Zombie Michael Myers remake was that at some point Michael goes mute. As a kid, he opens up and he's like, "I want to go home. I want to do this." He's a regular kid, but at some point, he just shuts down. And I like the idea that if we're going to have him speak in this movie once, we have him speak once. And it's okay. So if you don't use a muscle in so long, it starts to like if you work out, and then you stop working out, the muscle just sort of like it shrinks. If you don't use your voice, what happens to it? So I like this idea that Michael doesn't speak for years, and when he finally does, it almost sounds like his vocal cords are like destroyed. So like we use Tony Todd as the bass, and we just distort it. Because again, it's that idea like if
it would either be Tony Todd as the bass, or and I had this thought a moment ago because of his portrayal of Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe would be a good one too.
Willem Dafoe would be a good one. Again, light vocal editing to it, but
yeah. So because again, I would love for him to speak to say like one thing, maybe there's a moment where, because I know in the original they never have that moment, right? There's just because people have been like with the sequels they were always asking why Mike, why did Michael, why is Michael? They're asking these questions, and you never really get an answer. Like they try to explain it, like it's a curse, it's a thing, whatever. And I always liked the idea that Michael was just a kid that snapped, because it made him that's what made him scarier than Freddy Krueger and like Jason
Voorhees.
Just
a real dude.
Because like
Just a normal guy.
because Freddy Krueger that can't happen.
That's an entity.
That's an entity. Jason Voorhees is an entity.
Yeah.
I mean he's an undead zombie. He's an entity.
Yeah.
Michael Myers. I mean, we've had like 4 or 5 people throughout our country's history who could be considered like. I mean, they're basically Michael Myers. I mean, you're talking about H.H. Holmes. You're talking about the Green River Killer. You're talking about these things. That's what made Halloween so scary for me. And so I like the idea that maybe there's a moment where like he has Loomis cornered, and Loomis is like like Matthew Lillard is doing his best, and he's like maybe you got Laurie, and like they're like why, like you're gonna kill us, tell us why. And then like Michael, the answer he gives is just because I wanted to. But imagine it coming out as like this like grotesque voice. Like I like that idea. It's like people are always asking why. Michael's like, because I wanted to and I could. That's all the reason why I did it. There's nothing wrong with me. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I wanted to, so I did. So I like the idea. I like the idea of there being that moment, and you have this voice, this grotesque, gross voice, because this man hasn't used his voice. He waited for this very moment. He chose his moment. So, as you can tell, I thought about that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So,
Wow. What are we looking like on time?
40 minutes.
Yeah,
That's pretty decently sized episode.
pretty
I'd say.
decent. I like our fan casting here.
It's a pretty good fan casting. We could almost do more of these.
Almost.
I mean, I'd say we could do some more of these.
Yeah.
It really depends on what they think. I guess this one's not coming out until October.
Yeah.
We can. I mean, but to be fair, we can just do whatever we want. We're recording it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, kiss my butt. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that other jazz.
Tell us what you think of the casting.
Tell us what you think. Who you would have chosen for certain characters.
Exactly. We will try to put the names in the description and who whatever. It might be a long description, but
yeah, we'll try and.
Who cares? We do what we want.
We do what we want, baby.
We do what we want.
Rub-a-dub-dub, kiss on my butthole.